Two legends, one stadium, 40,000 witnesses, Yankee Stadium, hot summer afternoon, 1925. The stands are packed, but nobody came here for a regular game. Two men stand facing each other in the locker room. One is Babe Ruth, New York's golden boy, the man shattering records. The other is Ty Cobb, baseball's undisputed king for 17 years. Nobody had ever come close to him. Nobody had ever dared challenge him. Until Babe Ruth arrived. Cobb looks at Ruth with that arrogant, dismissive smile on his face. "You're just a circus act hitting home runs, Babe," he says. "I'm a scientist. Baseball is my laboratory. You'll never match my records. Never." Ruth says nothing. He just picks up his bat and walks toward the field. Cobb is wrong, very wrong. In 3 swings, words will become unnecessary. New York City, July 18, 1925, Saturday morning. The city is already sweating, temperature climbing toward 95 degrees, humidity thick enough to chew, the kind of heat that makes concrete shimmer and asphalt soft. But inside Yankee Stadium, something hotter than the weather is building. Tension, anticipation, the kind of energy that comes when two forces of nature are about to collide. The Detroit Tigers are in town. Normally, this would be just another American League series. Yankees versus Tigers. Good baseball, sure, but nothing extraordinary. Except this weekend is different. This weekend, Ty Cobb is playing, and Ty Cobb has been talking. For 2 weeks, ever since the series was scheduled, Cobb has been giving interviews to every newspaper that would listen. And Ty Cobb always has something to say about Babe Ruth. The rivalry started 3 years ago, in 1922. That was the year Babe Ruth hit 35 home runs and changed baseball forever. Before Ruth, baseball was about strategy. Small ball, bunts, stolen bases, hit and run plays. The kind of technical, calculated game that Ty Cobb had mastered better than anyone alive. Cobb had won 12 batting titles. He held the record for career hits, stolen bases, runs scored. His lifetime batting average was over .360, unthinkable dominance. He played the game like chess. Every at-bat was calculated, every pitch was analyzed. He studied pitchers like a scientist studies specimens. He knew their patterns, their weaknesses, their tells, and he exploited them with surgical precision. That was real baseball. That was art. Then came Babe Ruth with his stupid home runs. Cobb hated it, hated everything about it. The swing from the heels, the uppercut trajectory, the lazy fly balls that happened to clear the fence. There was no art in it, no science, no intelligence, just brute force. Monkey see, monkey swing, and the crowds loved it. That was what drove Cobb insane. The crowds absolutely worshipped Ruth. They came to stadiums in record numbers just to see if Ruth would hit a home run. They didn't care about batting average, about stolen bases, about the subtle beauty of a perfectly executed hit and run. They wanted spectacle. They wanted the big moment. They wanted the ball to fly over the fence while Ruth trotted around the bases with that stupid grin on his face. Cobb gave an interview to the Detroit Free Press on July 5th, 2 weeks before this series. The reporter asked him about Babe Ruth's popularity. Cobb's response was published on the front page of the sports section. "Babe Ruth is not a baseball player. He is a carnival attraction. He swings for the fences on every pitch because he lacks the intelligence to do anything else. My records are built on consistency, on mastering every aspect of the game. Ruth's records, if you can call them that, are built on luck and the fact that modern pitchers don't know how to handle a wild swinger. In 10 years, nobody will remember Babe Ruth. But my records will stand forever." The quote spread through every newspaper in America. New York papers reprinted it with outraged commentary. How dare Ty Cobb disrespect the greatest slugger in baseball history? Boston papers, still bitter about trading Ruth to the Yankees, quietly enjoyed the controversy. Chicago papers turned it into a philosophical debate about the future of baseball. But Babe Ruth himself said nothing. His teammates waited for him to respond. The press camped outside his hotel, waiting for a quote, for a reaction, for anything. Ruth just smiled, signed autographs for kids, and went about his business. When a reporter finally cornered him at the stadium, Ruth's response was disappointingly brief. "Ty's entitled to his opinion. I'll see him on the field." That was it. No anger, no counterattack, just calm acknowledgement. But people who knew Ruth, who really knew him, recognized something in that response. That particular tone, that specific look in his eyes. Ruth wasn't dismissing the insult. He was filing it away, saving it. July 18th arrives. Game day. The Yankees versus Tigers series opener. Yankee Stadium is sold out. 40,000 tickets gone in 2 days. People are standing in the outfield, sitting on the railings. Packed into every available space. They didn't come to watch baseball. They came to watch a confrontation. The locker rooms are separated by a long concrete hallway beneath the stadium. Tigers on one end, Yankees on the other. At 1 in the afternoon, Babe Ruth arrives at the stadium. He's wearing a light gray suit, sweat already darkening the fabric at his collar. He carries his bat bag over one shoulder, walking with that distinctive rolling gait. Heavy man, light feet. He nods to the security guard, signs 2 autographs for kids waiting by the entrance, and disappears into the Yankees' locker room. 30 minutes later, Ty Cobb arrives. Different energy entirely. Cobb is lean, angular, moving with predatory precision. Everything about him is tight, controlled, coiled. He's wearing a dark suit despite the heat, not a wrinkle visible. His face is hard, expressionless. He doesn't acknowledge the crowd, doesn't sign autographs, doesn't waste energy on anything that doesn't serve his purpose. He walks straight to the Tigers' locker room and closes the door behind him. Inside the Yankees' locker room, the atmosphere is tense. Players are suiting up quietly. Nervous energy. They know what's coming. Their manager, Miller Huggins, is pacing. He's a small man, barely 5'6", but his intensity fills the room. He stops in front of Ruth, who is lacing up his cleats with methodical care. "Babe, I need you to stay focused today. Cobb is going to try to get in your head. Don't let him." Ruth looks up. His face is calm, almost serene. "Skip, I'm focused. Don't worry about me." Huggins doesn't look convinced. "Cobb plays mind games. He'll say things to the umpire that you can hear. He'll comment on your swings. He'll try to make you angry, make you lose your discipline." Ruth stands up, tests his grip on his bat. "Skip, I appreciate the concern, but Ty Cobb doesn't scare me. His words don't scare me. The only thing that matters is what happens when the ball leaves the pitcher's hand." Huggins studies Ruth's face for a long moment, then nods. "All right, go get him." At 1:45, both teams begin their pre-game warm-ups. Ruth walks out of the dugout, and the crowd erupts. 40,000 people on their feet, screaming his name. He waves, tips his cap, and jogs to the outfield. 5 minutes later, Ty Cobb emerges from the Tigers' dugout. The crowd reaction is mixed. Cheers from Tigers fans who made the trip from Detroit. Boos from Yankees fans. But underneath both, there's respect. Even people who hate Ty Cobb respect what he represents. Excellence, dominance, a lifetime of being the best. Cobb ignores the crowd entirely. He runs his warm-up laps with mechanical precision, stretches with focused intensity, takes his practice swings with perfect form. Every movement is calculated, economical, professional. Then it happens, the moment everyone has been waiting for. Both teams finish warm-ups and return to their dugouts. The field is being prepared for first pitch, and for a brief moment, maybe 30 seconds, Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb are walking toward their respective dugouts on trajectories that cross near second base. The crowd notices. The noise level drops. 40,000 people holding their breath. The two men are going to pass within 10 feet of each other. Ruth sees Cobb. Cobb sees Ruth. Neither changes direction. Neither slows down. They walk, closing the distance, and then, just before they would pass, Cobb stops. Ruth stops. They're standing maybe 15 feet apart, second base between them. The entire stadium is silent. You can hear the flag snapping in the breeze. Cobb speaks first. His voice is not loud, but it carries. Players in both dugouts lean forward to hear. "Afternoon, Babe." Ruth nods. "Ty, I read you had something to say about my interview." Ruth's expression doesn't change. "I said I'd see you on the field. Here we are?" Cobb smiles. Not a friendly smile. The smile of a predator who knows he has the advantage. "Here we are. You know what the difference is between you and me, Babe? You're a slugger, one-dimensional. You swing for the fences because that's all you can do. I'm complete. I can hit for average. I can steal bases. I can manufacture runs. You're popular because you're simple. People like simple. But when history judges us, my name will be remembered as the greatest player who ever lived. Your name will be a footnote, the guy who hit some home runs during a brief era when pitching was weak." The words hang in the air. Ruth stands completely still. His face reveals nothing. Inside the Yankees' dugout, players are tense, waiting for Ruth's response, expecting anger, expecting confrontation. But Ruth just looks at Cobb for a long moment. Then he speaks, and his voice is soft, almost gentle. "You might be right, Ty. History will decide. But today, right here, we're both going to play baseball, and we'll let the game speak for itself." He turns and walks toward the Yankees' dugout. Doesn't look back, doesn't add anything, just walks away. Cobb stands alone at second base, watching Ruth go. For a moment, something flickers across his face. Uncertainty. Did he expect more? Did he want to fight? But the moment passes. His mask returns. He walks to the Tigers' dugout with the same controlled precision he does everything. The game begins at 2 sharp. Detroit Tigers batting first. Ty Cobb is batting third in the lineup. The crowd is restless, waiting. The first two Tigers batters go down quickly. Ground out, fly out, standard. Then Ty Cobb steps into the batter's box. The Yankees' pitcher is Herb Pennock, a crafty left-hander with excellent control. He's not a power pitcher. He wins with location, with changing speeds, with making batters hit his pitch instead of theirs. Pennock's first pitch is a fastball, low and away. Cobb watches it pass. Ball 1. The crowd murmurs. Second pitch, curveball, catches the outside corner. Cobb doesn't swing. Strike 1. He steps out of the box, adjusts his grip, steps back in. Third pitch, fastball, inside. Cobb pulls it sharply into right field. Clean single. He stands on first base, not celebrating, just standing. Professional. The inning continues. The next batter hits a ground ball to second. Cobb, reading the play instantly, takes off for second base. The throw beats him, but he slides hard, spikes high, and the second baseman has to jump to avoid injury. The umpire calls him out, but Cobb has made his point. He plays to win. He plays hard. He plays with an edge. Bottom of the first inning. Yankees batting. Babe Ruth is batting third. The first two Yankees batters reach base. Single, walk. The crowd comes alive. Ruth steps out of the dugout. The noise is deafening. 40,000 people screaming, stomping, creating a wall of sound. Ruth walks to the batter's box, carrying his bat loosely in his right hand. He steps in, plants his feet, looks at the Detroit pitcher. The pitcher is George Doss, a veteran right-hander who has been pitching in the majors for 13 years. He's faced Ruth before. He knows what he's dealing with. Doss winds up, delivers. Fastball, high and tight. Ruth doesn't move. Ball one. The crowd boos. They think it was too close. Might have been a brushback pitch. Ruth steps out, knocks dirt from his cleats, steps back in. Second pitch, curveball, drops low. Ruth starts his swing, checks it. Ball two. Now the count favors Ruth. 2 balls, no strikes. Doss knows he has to throw a strike, has to challenge him. The third pitch is a fastball, middle high. The pitch Doss hoped Ruth would chase. Ruth swings. The sound of the bat meeting the ball is different. Not a crack, more like a cannon. A deep, explosive boom that carries through the stadium. The ball launches off Ruth's bat at an impossible trajectory. Rising, rising, still rising. The center fielder turns and runs, but he knows immediately it's pointless. The ball sails over his head, over the fence, over the bleachers, and lands somewhere in the streets beyond Yankee Stadium. Home run, 3-run home run. The stadium explodes, people jumping, screaming, hugging strangers. Ruth circles the bases with that distinctive trot. Not fast, not slow, just steady. As he rounds second base, he glances toward the Tigers' dugout. Cobb is standing at the top of the dugout steps, watching. Their eyes meet for a fraction of a second. Ruth doesn't smile, doesn't gesture, doesn't celebrate. He just looks at Cobb, acknowledges him, and continues running. Yankees 3, Tigers 0. The game continues. Both teams battle. Cobb comes up again in the third inning, hits another single, steals second base again. He's showing his style. Technical, precise, manufacturing runs the old-fashioned way, but the Yankees are ahead. Ruth's home run changed everything. Top of the 5th inning, Tigers batting. They've scratched out 1 run. Yankees 3, Tigers 1. Cobb is due up again. He steps into the box with the same mechanical precision. Pennick delivers his first pitch. Cobb turns on it, drives it into the gap in left center field. He's running hard, legs pumping, and he slides into third base with a triple. He stands up, dusts himself off, and this time he looks directly at the Yankees' dugout. He's staring at Ruth. The message is clear. I can do this too. I can hit, I can run, I'm complete. The crowd is split now. Tigers fans cheering, Yankees fans nervous. This is what they came to see. 2 legends trading blows. The next batter hits a sacrifice fly. Cobb scores easily. Yankees 3, Tigers 2. The game is close again. Bottom of the 5th. Yankees batting. Ruth is due up third again. The first batter strikes out. The second batter grounds out. 2 outs, nobody on base. The crowd is restless again, wanting more. Ruth steps out of the dugout. The Detroit pitcher is different now. Doss has been pulled. The new pitcher is Hooks Dowse's teammate, another veteran. He's heard the scouting report. Keep it low, keep it away, don't give Ruth anything to elevate. The first pitch is a sinker, low and away. Ruth reaches for it, makes contact, but it's weak. Ground ball to shortstop, but the shortstop bobbles it, and Ruth, running hard despite his size, beats the throw to first base. Single. The crowd cheers, but it's not the eruption from earlier. Just a single, not the spectacle they want. But now there's a runner on first. The next Yankees batter is Lou Gehrig, Ruth's teammate and the cleanup hitter. Young, powerful, dangerous. The Tigers' pitcher is in trouble. He has to pitch carefully to Gehrig, but he can't walk him and load the bases for the next hitter. He delivers a fastball, and Gehrig lines it into the outfield. Ruth is running hard, and he makes it to third base. Now there are runners on first and third, still 2 outs. The Tigers' manager walks to the mound. A conference. The infielders gather. They're discussing strategy. Should they intentionally walk the next batter and load the bases? Risk it? The decision is made. They'll pitch to him. The at-bat plays out. A long battle. 7 pitches. The Yankees' batter finally grounds out. Inning over. Yankees still lead 3-2. The game moves to the 7th inning. Both teams have had chances, but no more runs have scored. The tension is unbearable. Cobb bats again in the top of the 7th. This time, Pennock gets him. Cobb hits a hard line drive, but directly at the third baseman. Out. Cobb walks back to the dugout, and for the first time today, his expression shows frustration. He's 2 for 3, but he hasn't driven in a run since the 5th inning. Bottom of the 7th. Yankees batting. Ruth is up 4th this inning. The first batter walks. The second batter bunts him to second base. Sacrifice. 1 out. Runner on second. The third batter strikes out. 2 outs. Now Babe Ruth steps to the plate for his third at-bat. The crowd is on its feet. Everyone. All 40,000 people. They know this might be Ruth's last chance to do something special. The Detroit pitcher knows it too. He's exhausted. He's been pitching for 7 innings in 95-degree heat. But he has to face Ruth one more time. The Tigers' manager could pull him, could bring in a reliever, but he leaves him in. Stubborn, proud, refusing to back down. The pitcher and Ruth lock eyes. This is the confrontation everyone has been waiting for. Not Ruth versus Cobb on the bases. Ruth versus the baseball itself. The pitcher winds up, delivers. Fastball inside corner. Ruth swings. Foul ball, straight back. Strike 1. The pitcher gets the ball back, takes a breath. He's thinking. Ruth just missed that pitch, missed by inches. Should he throw the same pitch again? No, Ruth will adjust. He throws a changeup instead. Ruth swings. Foul ball again, down the first base line. Strike 2. The count is 0-2. The pitcher has the advantage now. He can waste a pitch, try to get Ruth to chase something out of the zone. He delivers, curveball in the dirt. Ruth doesn't bite. Ball 1. Now the count is 1-2. The crowd is screaming so loud that players can barely hear. The pitcher steps off the rubber, wipes sweat from his face, gets the sign from his catcher. Fastball, high. Try to get Ruth to pop it up. The pitcher delivers. The moment the ball leaves his hand, he knows. It's not high enough, it's belt high. Ruth's zone. Ruth swings, and time seems to slow down. The ball meets the bat in the sweet spot. That perfect collision of wood and leather. The sound echoes through Yankee Stadium like thunder. The ball takes flight. Screaming into the summer sky, the right fielder turns, runs, but it's hopeless from the start. The ball is gone. Over the fence. Into the stands. Gone. Home run. Babe Ruth's second home run of the game. The stadium goes insane. People are crying. Strangers are embracing. Hats are thrown into the air. It's not just a home run. It's a statement. Yankees 5, Tigers 2. Ruth circles the bases again. That same steady trot. When he rounds second base this time, he looks toward the Tigers' dugout again. Cobb is standing in the exact same spot. Same position, same posture. But his face is different now. The mask has slipped. Just for a moment. There's something in his eyes. Not anger, not frustration. Something worse. Recognition. Ruth crosses home plate. His teammates mob him. Celebration. But Ruth's eyes never leave Cobb, the two legends staring at each other across the diamond. No words, no gestures, just acknowledgement. The game ends, Yankees 5, Tigers 2, Babe Ruth, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in. Ty Cobb, 2 for 4, 1 run scored. The numbers tell the story. After the game, the locker rooms are chaos. The Yankees room is loud, celebratory. Ruth is surrounded by reporters, teammates, everyone wanting a piece of the moment. But Ruth is subdued. He answers questions politely, but there's no gloating, just satisfaction. One reporter finally asks the question everyone wants answered. "Babe, Ty Cobb said your records wouldn't last. You hit 2 home runs today. Do you have a response?" Ruth thinks for a moment. Then he speaks, carefully. "Ty Cobb is one of the greatest players to ever play this game. His records speak for themselves. I have nothing but respect for him. Today, I hit 2 home runs because I got good pitches to hit and I didn't miss them. That's baseball. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Today we won." The reporter presses. "But what about his comments? About you being a carnival act?" Ruth's expression hardens slightly, just a fraction. "I let my bat speak for me. If people want to call what I do a carnival act, that's their choice. I call it baseball." In the Tigers' locker room, the atmosphere is different. Quiet, tense. Ty Cobb sits at his locker, still in uniform, staring at the floor. His teammates give him space. They know better than to approach him when he's like this. A reporter, braver or more foolish than the others, approaches. "Mr. Cobb, Babe Ruth hit 2 home runs today. Do you still believe your records are safe?" Cobb looks up slowly. His eyes are cold, hard. "I said what I said. Ruth's style won't last. Baseball is about consistency, not spectacle. One game doesn't change that. One hot day doesn't make a career." The reporter writes frantically. "But he's hit 30 home runs this season. That's more than most teams." Cobb stands up. The interview is over. "When the season ends, we'll see who has the better average. We'll see who helped their team more. We'll see what real baseball looks like." He walks away, toward the showers, and the reporters know better than to follow. That night, the New York papers run huge headlines. "Babe does it again." "Ruth silences Cobb with bat." "The Bambino shows Detroit who's king." The Detroit papers are more measured. "Tigers fall to Yankees 5-2. Ruth's power display not enough to intimidate Cobb." But everyone knows the truth. Something shifted today, not just in the game, but in baseball itself. The old guard, represented by Ty Cobb and his scientific approach, had met the new era, represented by Babe Ruth and his power game, and the new era had won. Not just because Ruth hit 2 home runs, because of what those home runs represented: a different way to play, a different way to win, a different way to entertain. 3 months later, the 1925 season ends. Babe Ruth finishes with 25 home runs and a .290 batting average. Not his best season by his standards. He's been dealing with health issues, weight problems. But still, 25 home runs. Still the most in baseball. Ty Cobb finishes with a .378 batting average, second highest in his career. He also steals 20 bases, a complete season by any measure. Both men have proven their points. Cobb is still the most complete player in baseball. Ruth is still the most powerful. But the crowd numbers tell a different story. Yankee Stadium sells out every home game. People come in record numbers to see Ruth hit. When the Tigers play, attendance is good, but not spectacular. People respect Cobb, but they love Ruth. History will remember both men. Ty Cobb will be inducted into the Hall of Fame in its first class in 1936. His career statistics will be studied and debated for generations. His batting average, his stolen bases, his relentless competitiveness will define an era. But Babe Ruth will become something else entirely. A legend, a myth, the name everyone knows, even people who don't follow baseball. The man who changed the game forever, the Sultan of SWAT. That hot afternoon in July 1925, when two legends faced each other and let their games do the talking, didn't just decide a baseball game. It decided baseball's future. Ty Cobb was right about one thing: his records would last for decades. But he was wrong about Babe Ruth being forgotten. Ruth's name would echo through time louder than anyone in baseball history.